Every person's life has dark corners and hidden corners that not everyone can easily see through. For Sean Young, if one could point out the greatest sadness in her life, it would be the waste of a brilliant talent, a gem that was once polished but never fully shined. Sean Young was one of the most promising stars of Hollywood in the 1980s. She possessed a gorgeous beauty, a mysterious aura, and a natural and captivating acting ability. When she entered the cinema, she was not only a beautiful actress, but also a true artist, someone who could transform into any role with incredible emotional depth. But despite her talent, she still could not reach the heights she deserved. One of Sean Young's greatest tragedies was being shunned by the very industry she loved. Unlike other actors who could easily maintain their careers for decades, she was quickly pushed aside by Hollywood after just a few unnecessary conflicts. Opportunities seemed to come to her, but then they were bitterly missed. The big projects that she could have participated in, the roles that she longed to play, all fell into the hands of others. She could never forget the moment when she learned that she was cut from the role of Vicky Vale in Batman, 1989, a role that she had prepared a lot for and had high hopes for. When she learned that she was no longer on the cast list of the film, she felt like her whole world had collapsed. But that was not the biggest shock. When she auditioned for the role of Catwoman in Batman Returns, 1992, she put all her heart into proving that she could absolutely take on the role. She even made her own Catwoman costume and shot a test video to convince director Tim Burton, but in the end, the role went to Michelle Pfeiffer. Being shunned by Hollywood not only caused her career to decline, but also affected her self-esteem. No one wants to be looked down upon, and Sean Young was no exception. She felt unfairly treated, cast aside without a second chance. When someone puts their heart into art but is not recognized, it is a pain that cannot be soothed. She once said that one of the things that saddened her the most was how easily Hollywood cast someone aside just because of rumors or misunderstandings. In her eyes, she was not as difficult to work with as the rumors said, but once bad stories spread, no one would want to give her another chance. This made her feel trapped in a dead-end loop, where she always had to prove herself but was never heard. Not only her career, Sean Young's personal life was also heavily affected by these losses. Looking back, perhaps her biggest regret is not being able to fully exploit her talent. Hollywood is a harsh world, where people can become legends but can also be forgotten in a short time. And for Sean Young, that is the greatest tragedy, when a great dream is unfinished right before his eyes. Sean Young entered Hollywood in the late 1970s, when she was in her early 20s. Possessing a beauty that was both sharp and classic, she quickly gained attention and was cast in important roles. Her first film, Jane Austen in Manhattan, 1980, was not a big hit, but it was enough to help her get a good start. Her career really took off when she participated in Stripes, 1981, a comedy starring Bill Murray. This film brought her wider attention, helping her catch the eye of major directors. And then, just a year later, Sean Young had the most important role of her career, Rachael in Blade Runner, 1982. Blade Runner is not just a simple science fiction film, but also a true work of art. Her portrayal of Rachael was irresistible, a mysterious, fragile yet powerful woman. It was a complex role that required a delicate performance, and Sean Young did it brilliantly. Many believed that, after the success of Blade Runner, she would become one of Hollywood's leading actresses. After Blade Runner, she continued to star in many major films such as David Lynch's Dune, 1984, No Way Out, 1987, alongside Kevin Costner, and Oliver Stone's Wall Street, 1987. These films helped her solidify her position in the film industry, proving that she was not just a pretty face, but also a real actress. However, despite her great success in the 1980s, Sean Young's career began to decline in the early 1990s. Conflicts with colleagues, scandals, and her sometimes eccentric behavior cost her many important opportunities. One of the biggest shocks was when she was dropped from the role of Vicky Vale in Batman, 1989, due to an injury she suffered during pre-production. The role was then given to Kim Basinger, and the film became a huge success. If not for this incident, Sean Young's career may have taken a completely different direction. After that shock, she tried to find another breakthrough role. When Batman Returns, 1992 was planned, she was aiming for the role of Catwoman. But despite her efforts to get the role, director Tim Burton decided to cast Michelle Pfeiffer instead. This was probably one of her most bitter failures, because if she had been chosen, she might have had a spectacular comeback. In the following years, she continued to have difficulty finding big roles. Hollywood gradually turned its back on her, and the films she participated in no longer resonated as before. Not only because of misunderstandings, but also because the film industry is always changing, and without a solid foothold, one can be forgotten very quickly. It was not because of failure that she stopped trying. She tried everything to come back, but no matter how hard she tried, the doors still did not open for her. There were moments when looking back on her career, she could not hold back her tears. The rejections, the times she tried but no one listened, the times she felt left out. All of these left a deep wound in her heart. Once considered the future of Hollywood, she now struggles to find even the smallest opportunity. But despite this, she never gave up on her dream. Sean Young is not just an actress, she is an artist with a strong desire to assert herself and devote herself to art. Looking back at her glorious years in the 80s, no one can deny that she was on the brink of greatness. But fate was not kind to her. Misunderstandings, prejudices, and missed opportunities prevented her from reaching the heights she deserved. However, throughout her career, Sean Young has always tried to achieve what she considers the most important achievements. It is not just fame, not just commercially successful films, but also asserting herself in the film industry, an industry that is inherently harsh and competitive. One of the things she always pursues is recognition from critics and audiences. When she joined Blade Runner, she put all her heart into the role of Rachael, hoping that the film would help her be seen as a real actress. And indeed, this role left a mark in the hearts of fans, becoming one of the most iconic characters in the science fiction genre. But instead of becoming a stepping stone to the ranks of A-list stars, her career did not take the expected steps. One of the things that Sean Young always worried about was that she never received a major award to recognize her talent. Despite her excellent performances, she was still not nominated for prestigious awards such as Oscar or Golden Globe. This made her feel disappointed, because in the world of Hollywood, fame does not always go hand in hand with real talent. Many times, it is a combination of relationships, luck, and other factors that she cannot control. Not only stopping at acting, Sean Young also tried her hand at directing and producing films, hoping to be able to control her own destiny, not depending on the decisions of Hollywood producers. However, this path was not easy, and she did not achieve as much success as expected. However, the most important thing for Sean Young is probably not fame or money, but that she can continue to do art in her own way. She once shared that, even if Hollywood rejected her, she would always be an artist. There is no need to stand on big stages, no need to win prestigious awards. As long as she can still act, can still transform into the characters she loves, that is already a happy thing. Her greatest achievement is probably that she has never given up on her dream. She does not accept fate, does not let prejudice crush her. Despite the difficulties, despite the criticism, she continued to move forward. A person's life is not only about career, but also about love, marriage, and lifelong relationships. For Sean Young, love is one of the most important things in life, but it also brings her a lot of sadness and suffering. Sean Young met Robert Lujan, who later became her husband, when she was very young. They fell in love passionately, got married in 1990, and had 2 children together. In the first years of their marriage, they had happy moments, built a family together, and shared dreams about the future. But like her career, her marriage was not a fairy tale with a happy ending. Although they loved each other very much, the stresses of life and career gradually created cracks. The pressure from Hollywood, failures at work, along with scandals and misunderstandings in the entertainment industry, made their relationship increasingly distant. Sean Young went through a period of depression, and it took a toll on her marriage. In 2002, after more than a decade together, Sean Young and Robert Lujan decided to divorce. This was probably one of the most painful moments of her life. Although she knew that this might be the best choice at that time, no breakup is easy. She once believed that their love could overcome all challenges, but in the end, reality was too cruel. But life always has surprises. After many years apart, they realized that their love had never faded. And then, in 2011, they remarried. This was not just an impulsive decision, but an affirmation that no matter